Hi there, Pam Coburn-Litvak here. In part 7 of my series on cognitive therapy, let's meet Sarah. Sarah's an amazing person who works hard and succeeds at most things she does. Her teachers praise her, her friends admire her. The only one who doesn't seem to appreciate Sarah is Sarah herself. When others say, "Great job, Sarah," she often says, "That wasn't so great," or "I didn't do nearly as well as I should have." To Sarah, her success feels fake. Every achievement is shaded with a sense of worthlessness and fear of making a mistake next time. Have you ever felt this way? Do you ever criticize yourself or talk down your accomplishments? Do you ever describe yourself as a loser, failure, or worthless? If so, you're not alone. Feelings of worthlessness occur in 9 out of every 10 individuals who struggle with depression. Low self-esteem also shows up in social anxiety. These feelings are created by a distorted thought pattern called minimization. It's the opposite of the magnification distortion we talked about last time. Magnification is like using high-powered lenses to magnify our faults and problems. With minimization, we flip the lenses around and look through the other end, minimizing our talents and successes to pitiful points of nothingness. Over time, minimization chips away at our self-esteem. Poor self-esteem feeds directly into feelings of depression and anxiety. In psychological terms, healthy self-esteem means we like and respect ourselves. We don't downplay our skills and talents, but we don't exaggerate them either. And we believe we have inherent worth as human beings. One way to think of self-esteem is a pool. A shallow pool has few emotional resources to draw from when times get tough. A deeper one gives more. So when life gets stressful, the person with more resources has an easier time writing things out. But as a brain researcher myself, I should point out that the concept of self-esteem is a little tricky. That's because the spectrum of self-esteem can keep going, putting some people into the equally distorted and unhealthy high end. Unrealistically high self-esteem can take on troubling qualities of its own, not just pride, but arrogance and narcissism. You might think narcissists would have an easier time writing out life's problems, but sometimes they don't. Their feelings of superiority and entitlement create problems like hostility and conflict. So our goal is to avoid both extremes, thinking too low of ourselves, but also thinking too high. To do this, we want to put our self-esteem into more realistic terms. Cognitive therapy can help. In this series, we're using 4 principles of cognitive therapy. The first is doing our research, examining the evidence for our minimizations. We can ask questions like, why are we minimizing our strengths or successes? Would most others agree with our minimizing, or would they think we're taking it too far? If we saw the same strengths or successes in others, would we minimize them to the same degree? Second, we can learn to measure self-esteem in a more realistic way. True self-esteem includes self-acceptance, respect, and inherent self-worth. We often measure our worth in terms that actually don't make any sense. Many use achievements to measure their worth. And this is a problem because just one stroke of bad luck or failure will destroy our sense of worth. There's nothing wrong with feeling a sense of pride and accomplishment in our work. But work does not equal worth. If this were true, then we would mistakenly think that wealth and success makes us a more valuable human being than others. Others use attractiveness. There's nothing wrong with taking pride in a beautiful face or body, but beauty does not equal worth. Still others use affection. And of course, having loved ones, friends, and family will make life richer. But relationships do not equal worth. Others' approval or disapproval of us have nothing to do with our value as human beings. Again, there's nothing wrong with achievement, attractiveness, or affection. They just don't measure our inherent value as human beings. If it helps, think of each on different scales. Now think of self-worth as a completely different scale, and unlike other factors, it doesn't change. Our value as human beings stays the same for life. As psychiatrist David Burns wrote, "Since you can't measure it or change it, there's no point in being concerned about it. Leave that up to God." Third, we want to find the right cost-benefit ratio. And let's be honest, there is at least one benefit to minimizations. We do avoid getting a swollen head, thinking that we're somehow better than everyone else. Still, in avoiding the deep end of narcissism, we may wade right into the shallows of poor self-worth. So we need to ask ourselves questions like, what are the costs of minimizing my strengths and successes? What are the costs of poor self-esteem or poor self-worth? And what benefits may I get from evaluating my strengths more fairly? Fourth, following the golden rule will help us value and respect others as well as ourselves. This puts us all on an equal plane. We are free to love and respect others and ourselves, not because of what we have done, what we look like, what we own, or who we know, but because we all have the same infinite value. Please like and share this content, and take a few seconds right now to subscribe. Thank you so much.